the unemployment has been growing all over the world. It's not South Africa only. It's not South Africa only because the economy has affected globally. Just to correct that fact. It's not, we have asked you a question, you can't keep on asking a question. Allow me to answer you. Yebo. We need to put that in correctly. Because you put the question as if it is only South Africa that has unemployment growing. Is a global problem that has been accepted by the global leaders as a time bomb to everybody else. It's not a South African problem only. It's a problem that faces the world for a variety of reasons, which we could debate when we have time outside of Parliament. Secondly, Duduzane, I've not heard, you let me know that he has ever benefited his business that he's involved in from government, where Zuma has participated to say, give him something. Never, I've never done that. He's involved in business in his own accord. And there were circumstances why he had to go to business. He started by working and then later became a business person. And because he's a son of a president, there is no law that says he cannot get involved in business. And I deal with many young people who are successful. Many. If we have never met them, you are an unfortunate South African. We've just met Duduzane only. Very unfortunate leader. I'm sure even in your own party, there are many young people who are involved. There is a situation that has created the unemployment. It's not created by Duduzane becoming a business person. It's not. No, we are saying he's the only one who has succeeded, others have not. Not true. There are many factors. You know some of them, for an example. Young people who come out of tertiary institutions today, if they look for employment, do they have the experience? That then exclude them. It's not Duduzane. It's the situation we have created. And it is complex on a number of factors that you could look at. So it's not true. It's not true. You can't single out a young person, one person, and victimize the person because he's a son of the president. It's not correct. It's not fair. He cannot, I've never assisted him on any issue. He's a businessman. Whoever he does business with, it is his own business. It is his own business. That cannot be me who must now answer how he got into business. Is it correct? Must a son of a president, even if he has opportunities, not take them because he's the son of a president in order to prove a point? I don't think that's correct. You are just being funny to a young man who has gone to school, capacitated himself. He is now in business. You may have a view who is in business with, which is a different matter. You can discuss that differently. But I think you are isolating a young man in South Africa simply because he's the son of a president. I don't think it's fair. It's not. He has the right to become a business in South Africa if he succeeds. Many other sons of mine are not business people, but they are my sons. I think it's unfair to this young man that you talk about it every time. Very much unfair, because you can't produce evidence that I had anything to do with his business. You can't. We are just politicizing it, and I'm saying it's unfair to the young man. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Nkomo.
Honorable Speaker, I think the Honorable of the Opposition Party, this side, Honorable Speaker. I think...
Honorable Member, on what point are you rising?
I'm rising on this point, Honorable Speaker.
Member,
Unomona.
That's
all. Jealous. Parliament.
Mr. President, you said here the last time, you said the ANC will rule until it... The tragedy is that you've lost 4 metros. I want to discuss this matter as a matter of fact. The truth of the matter is that more South Africans are losing work under your presidency. The other truth is the fact that our state is now being run by a shadow state and funds are being channeled out of our country. What is all actually true is the fact that unemployment is on a permanent increase. What is factually true is the fact that we've been relegated to junk status under your presidency. What is factually true is that, in fact, I have issued to the Speaker proof that you sought through emails, through documents, to assist in business deals. So I am not here to say the ANC, who have already, they themselves have come out and said you should step down. I'm not asking for an unfair majority.
Honorable Maimane, your time is expired.
No, I want to ask a question.
But you must do it within...
Here
Don't
it is.
tell a story.
What's your
Here
question?
it is. Does the president in fact believe he is the best person
Honorable
in the
member,
interest
your
of South
time has
Africa
expired.
to lead South Africa?
Honorable
Or
member,
should you not
your time
step
has
down
expired.
now?
Honorable Maimane, please in future stay within your allocated time. Don't add your own time. It becomes unfair on all other speakers here. Go ahead, Mr. President.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It is absolutely true that the people of this country prefer the ANC to lead them up to this point. There's no doubt about it. No, don't ask the question when we have even taken no time to the answer. Otherwise, the junk state is not for the first time in South Africa, and there have been different reasons why it has. It has come and gone. Don't make it as if it is the first time when Zuma is the president, because there are specific issues. And there is no shadow government. We have a government that is appropriately as possible, within the capacity, given every other thing. So, don't mislead the country to think that people don't want the ANC government. They love it. They love it. If you don't love it, there's nothing strange. You are an opposition. If you love the ANC, I can tell you, they will take you out of that leadership of yours, of the DA, if you did not. Now, the issue of the one that we are mentioning now, of the metros, I can tell you, if we went to elections now, you lose them. Because, no, absolutely. Because people realize they've made. And I can tell you, next elections, you'll never have these metros. Never.
Deputy Speaker.
Never. And I can tell, we can tell you why these metros were sort of tied. Because you talk as if you won them with slight majority. Not at all. You had to talk and beg other parties to help you form the municipality. That tells you it could have been for anyone. You had to do many things, not to sleep negotiating to get the parties to be on your side. In fact, you are being threatened by EFF that they may run away. You might find yourself out of it, in actual fact, because it is a small little thing of cooperation with other parties. So don't talk as if you won this with overwhelming majority. You know anytime you can lose it. No, before 2019, we are encouraging us to cause a re-election in these places so that we can take our thing back. Absolutely.
Deputy Speaker,
In any way, I think, in any way, the
Speaker.
final question is, I think the people of South Africa did not make a mistake by electing me as the president of this country. I'm fit and I'm doing it very well.
Deputy
Thank you very
Speaker.
much.
Yes, honorable member, what are you raising on?
Yeah. Deputy Speaker, I just wanted to know if the President is prepared to accept the challenge. Let's go to elections earlier.
Honorable member, that's not a point of order. Thank you. Honorable Maimani.
Mr. President, social security is something that the DA will continue to fight for. And in this particular instance, that's why in the recent budget vote that took place here in Parliament, the DA proposed increasing the social grants by 4.5 billion rands. But that would be funded by cutting allocations to ministerial jets and VIP security for you and your cabinet, which I think is better for the people. So the question is, it's actually entirely affordable to do the right thing for our citizens, and the ANC voted against it. So I want to know, can you explain, at least to the people of South Africa, why the ANC chose VIP security instead of 4.5 billion rands for the people of this country who are most vulnerable?
President.
No, firstly, I'm sure, much as I was not in the room, in the house, and I'm sure that the ANC must have very good reasons to vote against you, because they are always logical, they always know, they are governing, they know how these matters are handled. Your proposal is likely to be not informed by what happens in government, because you don't know. The ANC knows very well why any provision that is in government is there. So they wouldn't vote with you. Make almost like your propaganda kind of thing to say, no, when we are there, we will increase everything. So ANC could vote on logic, on understanding of what happens in government. So I'm sure that's why they voted against you. Because if your proposal in the eyes of the ANC was reasonable and informed by what happens in government, I'm sure they would have voted with you. Absolutely. And the reason is simple. They voted because they realize you are not informed by what is happening in government. That's the reason. Simple. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you.